Alrighty, happy Saturday. Hopefully everyone's doing great. We're going to be going over some updates, not to mention talking a little bit about next week in today's video. This one's going to be relatively short, on the shorter side of stuff. I know I say that every single time, but realistically, it is going to be pretty short. I gotta go ahead and hop off here relatively soon. So if you do find value in today's video, please smash the like button, subscribe for future content. Tomorrow is going to, next week is going to be crazy. And we got to mentally prepare overall for the upcoming weeks, because this market is going to ultimately stop throwing a hissy fit over these federal rate cuts, Federal Reserve rate cuts, because realistically the market wants them and is expecting them, and it's like, hey, if we don't get rate cuts, we're not going to go higher. That's a lie, and that's not true. These companies are growing, and we're going to start seeing earnings very shortly. In the next month, we're going to have massive amounts of earnings, and we're going to see revenue numbers honestly continue to grow. And it's like, okay, we didn't get a rate cut in January maybe, but companies are still growing. Yeah, let's go ahead and rally again. So we got to be mentally prepared for that. Let's talk about this really quickly. Trump tariffs live update. Bassett says Treasury can cover any tariff refunds. I mean, honestly, this really is not the best for the Trump administration if they do have to repay a lot of tariffs. The Supreme Court has not given us any clarity just yet. But if you want my honest personal opinion, they're probably going to come in 50-50. They're probably going to say, hey, some of these tariffs are justified, some are not. I'm kind of really at a loss of thought, but I know there's different types of tariffs. There are some tariffs that the president can go ahead and issue an executive order to basically pretty much do. There are some tariffs that President Trump has done under a emergency crisis situation. And I'm pretty sure the Supreme Court is going to be like, hey, those you cannot do, but these you can do. Okay, we got to repay these ones, but we can add more of these ones. And ultimately, everything's going to be leveled out. So this is honestly just utter nonsense, in my opinion. The chances of a rate cut for January has now plummeted to 4.4% here, which is just really whatever. I mean, it's does the market need rate cuts to go higher? The answer, honestly, is really no. I mean, the AI sentiment on this market is still very much heavy on bullish. Obviously, 30% bearish. We're not super bullish in the market, which is definitely good, because anytime that we are super bullish, it never goes well. But we're basically pretty much right now in a neutral situation here. And I mean, it's all going to come down to earnings. That's what's going to end up happening. Earnings is going to go... It's going to make or break these companies out here. And if you've been following me, especially in the last couple months on this channel, I am very much well positioned in these positions, because SoFi is going to continue to put up great numbers. AMD, they have a lot of stuff going on this year. Palantir, I believe they will continue. Hood, same. Meta we've been talking about Meta a lot. They're going to have a lot of money coming in for midterms for advertisements on Facebook. Adobe, I actually was just using a Adobe product probably about 20 minutes ago. Record-breaking AI sales. Honest really is a toss-up, and my PayPal position is actually greater than my Honest right now, so I'll move my PayPal position up. So ultimately, I myself am positioned. I did not FOMO on in. I was buying these stocks during this dip that we had 2 months ago now. You got SPY breaking all-time highs. What does that tell you? That tells you that this market wants to go higher. It tells you that next week, when we go ahead and get a lot of this data that's going to be coming out, we have, oh boy, we have a lot of data next week to really watch for. But I mean, the CPI is either going to come in line or it's going to come lower than expected. Maybe that's going to boost up like the chances of a rate cut. Who really knows? And then on top of it, we have PPI, which is also a good indicator. What other data? We have initial jobless claims. It's really going to be the CPI, PPI 2, and then I believe the following week, GDP is also another big one as well. PCE is really big as well too. This is the week before the Federal Reserve meets. Could a rate cut still happen? Sure. But do we need a rate cut to continue to go higher? The answer is no. The market needs to stop throwing a hissy fit. And honestly, I really believe that we are to the point now where we are going to have phenomenal earnings in the next couple weeks. And it's gonna show. After we get done with earnings, it's gonna cool off the anxiety that is like really around the market and stuff. And after that anxiety gets cooled off, what we're basically gonna experience here is we're just gonna experience another push higher and another rally up. I'll go over this really quick. On Friday, I did cover this in yesterday's video. I did buy another share of PayPal here. Doing a public profile challenge. Basically looking to take this amount in the course of 18 months to 6 figures of 100K. I still have quite a bit of capital left. On Monday, every Monday, I'm going to be depositing $125 into this account to buy stock. However, if I don't see the need to buy stock, I'm just going to build a cash position. And this is the reality of stuff. If these stocks start rock and rolling to like, you know, really breaking out here, if we have all the chips start rallying, if we have AMD continue going higher, if we have Meta pushing up, Palantir recovering, Hood recovering, Adobe, maybe even PayPal doing some good recovery, my risk on play here, Honest Company, they're just doing a transformation right now, but still, I mean, if we have all these companies really moving and I'm not looking to open a new position in any stock out there, I'm just going to do what I've been doing, which is what is working for me, and that's building a cash position. When stocks are soaring all the way up, it's not good to FOMO on in. Now, of course, if you find a steal of a deal out there and a stock that is undervalued, of course, you know, take the stock, take the trade, take the investment, get on in. But if all the stocks out there are just continuing to bust through all-time highs, building a cash position is the best thing you can do. And that's essentially what my strategy really is I have long-term positions here. Obviously, SoFi is a 10-year looking position. AMD definitely maybe 3, 5, maybe even longer amount of years. Meta definitely into the end of the year. Same thing with Palantir. Hood could very well be a long-term position here. Adobe, we really got to see what happens. PayPal might be a quick trade. Same thing with Honest Company. But the point being is that if you experience a time where all the stocks are going up, building a cash position, especially when your stocks are just rallying up and up and up, and maybe if you're sitting on a lot of gains that you want to take profits on because maybe a stock goes so high that it's outside of your own price prediction, because you got to run price predictions on these companies. I've spent a lot of time looking at these companies' growth rates and running price predictions. SoFi is going to be big for 2026-27. Same thing with AMD, definitely into 28 and 2028, 2029. Meta is just it's a unique company that we've never seen in the stock market before. Palantir is still friggin' growing. Hood is going to continue breaking out as long as as long as they continue doing stuff with Bitcoin. And the CEO Vad is a innovator like Mark Zuckerberg. A lot of people are they're not taking into consideration that these young dudes are so smart and brilliant. Wall Street once thought that Mark Zuckerberg was a joke. Now they love the guy and they're willing to deep throat him. Oh yeah, that's Wall Street. They like give me a break, okay? So the point is that I could very well just be chilling for the next couple months here, covering the market for you all, and I could like if the market rallies for the next several months, like I'm really not going to be buying any types of stock. I'm just going to be I am positioned. Earlier last year, Liberation Day, right? I went all in. I am a big advocator of buying the fear. A lot of my strategies come from trading, but also long-term investing. If you are a long-term investor in a stock, you buy the fear, you buy the dip for discounted shares for the future. But if you're trading a stock, you buy the fear, you buy the dip, you buy the blood, you sell the rip. And Liberation Day 2025, almost a year ago now, crazy, I bought over $100,000 of stock, hard cash, no margin. I don't do margin, never done margin, been in the stock market since April of 2020 now. 100 grand worth of stock, and I ended up cashing out of the vast majority of my positions right around the end of June, early July. Should have waited until August, but you're never going to buy the bottom. You're never going to sell the top. The 7 and 8 figure traders and investors that taught me all this stuff, that was their motto. You're never going to buy the bottom. You're never going to sell the top. So, hypothetically, let's say if Palantir starts crushing numbers, and maybe I say to myself, you want to know what? There is another growth stock that I'm looking at that is very hated right now. I haven't talked about it on this channel just yet, but they are in a same similarity as SoFi was in 2024. Is PayPal going to give me a 200, like give me a 3x of my money in the next couple years compared to maybe another growth company? Those days of Palantir is over. Did I say PayPal? I apologize if I said PayPal. Talking about Palantir. Those days of Palantir are really over. It's going to be harder and harder for Palantir to maintain doing a double up over the next couple years now. It doesn't mean Palantir is not a great company. They are an amazing company. Are they going to be $1 trillion company someday? Someday. But they have ran up so much. I've talked about this on this channel too. I was buying Palantir in the teens a couple years ago. Made a lot of money, like well over 5 figures. But if I held on for the long run of Palantir, I would have made well over 6 figures. Hey, I've learned that lesson with growth companies. That's why I'm definitely more so invested in SoFi now. But here's the realistic viewpoint. I myself am very ready for whatever happens. As long as you have a strategy, you can't go wrong. When you start getting away from your strategy, that is where a lot of bad mistakes happen. I have a strategy if the market goes down. I have a strategy if the market goes up. I will be covering my strategy for education purposes for you all. And I highly encourage you all, because this is the realistic thing. You can FOMO in on the way up, but you can also FOMO in on the way down. And a lot of times the market may go down a little bit. People go all in when they should just be nibbling on in. A couple months ago during this entire drawdown here in the SPY, I didn't go all in when the market started pulling back. I was buying in all these areas, all these circles. I was buying. I was buying at all these circles. Every single one of these days, I was buying in the market. And I was also buying on the way up. When the market does a V-shaped recovery, you buy on the way down, you buy on the way up. And now look at the SPY. It's breaking out. I mean, fuck. I could have theoretically just bought the SPY, and theoretically I would be up right now. Pretty ironic. So I'm going to leave you all on this closing note. God bless. Have a great weekend. Stay safe as always. Monday, I'll be covering more significantly. We have so much to talk about, especially with this data. But I'm trying to. I could be dead wrong. I could be dead wrong too. Time is going to tell. But it is literally looking like this is just a mere hissy fit that the market is doing because they are just absolutely irritated. And it's like a little child doing bad behavior to a parent and getting rewarded for bad behavior. The market goes down, it throws a hissy fit, it wants a rate cut. Powell gives the market a rate cut, and then it goes up to all-time highs, and then it goes back down. It's like, hey, can we get another rate cut? No, it doesn't work like that. You do not reward bad behavior. I'm not a parent, but I mean, I can tell you, you do not reward bad behavior. So as soon as the market stops throwing a hissy fit, we're going to see all-time highs, especially after earnings here. And if we bust through all-time highs, like I said again, I'm just going to build a cash position because that's what I do. I work hard. I'm a small business owner of multiple small businesses. I'm also an author. So I work very hard and I just continue to build cash. Oh, wow, the market is selling off. Bye, baby. Bye, baby. Bye, bye, bye. All right, later all. See you Monday with the new video. Bye.